Folks, hello again. My name is Jim Cardas, and we're talking about the 100% cure of tinnitus. And this is the third video I'm doing in this series. We started off with the concept of tinnitus and what it really is. It's not the initiating event, it's our response to the event. That's what we have to correct, not the initiating event. The initiating event is almost meaningless in this regard. The loss of hearing, whatever might be, loud noise, it's our response. And that was our first piece. The second piece, I went into my story, how I figured this out with the, standing on the shoulders of giants with Dr. Pawel Jastreboff and Dr. Claire Weeks. And I've had this, I've had anxiety years ago from being on the flight line with the Marine Corps, and was able to get through it and learned a lot since that. So this is all experiential. I'm not a doctor, just somebody who is experienced this and knows it very, very, very well. I probably know this better than I know anything, and that's why I'm 100% convinced of this, because I've proved it to myself time and time again. And remember, we talked about you don't need to know, how the watch works to tell times. Today we'll get into that. We'll talk about the kind of the mechanism, to a certain extent, of the limbic response and how tinnitus happens. And how, eventually leading on to what we can do to cure it. And it's easy. The cure is truly easy. In fact, you don't have to do anything to cure it, and that's what we'll finally get to. This is the same with PTSD. It'd be the same with panic disorder. It'd be the same with anorexia. It's the same piece. Driving over bridges, afraid of spiders, afraid of clowns. It's all the same mechanism. They're irrational responses. We've taught ourselves to fear these things. Our limbic system said, got it, gonna fear it. And man, when you get near a bridge you don't want to drive over, I'm gonna fire everything up. Here comes the sweaty palms. Here comes their response. So let's talk about the mechanism real quick. So we have an initiating event or a stressor, and this can be a number of stressors during an anxious time in our life. So I'm just going to kind of build on this and show you that you can get a number of these types of things when you're in a stressful state. So here is, with regard to tinnitus, here's our initiating event. And then again, our response to it. Then we talked about how we control our universe. With regard to, we don't control the external universe. For our lives, it doesn't matter. That's all happening outside our head. What happens inside our head, we have 100% control over. Can't be different. It is just the case, all right? That means you choose your response. And I'll use an example. Somebody died. Well, we have to feel sad. No, we don't. Think of an Irish wake, right? We could be happy. That person is going on to the next life. We're ecstatic. We knew them. When we're sad, we're really sad for ourselves, not for them. They've passed away, right? So there's no automatic response. Somebody makes you angry, that doesn't work. You choose to be angry. And when you see that, you see you have 100% control over the things with regard to your life that impacts you, 100% control over your perceptions of the world, okay? And that's as it matters. It applies here, right? So you learn whatever this initiating event was for your tinnitus, loss of hearing, whatever the case may be, loud noises, you learn to fear this thing. And by doing that, you kick in the limbic system, and up and front center came your amygdala, your limbic system, your emotional system. If you've seen the Disney movie Inside Out, it's great. It shows it's psychologically based. It's really filmed, saw it with a youth group, and they loved it. And it's one of the most popular Disney movies. I don't think it was widely, or maybe it was. It just doesn't seem like it's as popular as other ones. But you have in there, you had joy in your brain. You've got fear, sadness, and disgust, I think was one of them as well, and anger, okay? So a lot of emotions in there. Emotions aren't reasonable, and they're not, but they're listening to you. They're listening to the intellectual brain. And if you teach it to fear something, you'll get that response. And that's what you did with this noise. When we don't have to go back, remember our spider analogy, and fix the noise. We don't have to massage our ears or lose the earwax or whatever the case is. We're just going to teach our brain not to attend to it. As we experience our world We have our five senses: we touch, taste, smell, hearing, seeing, and there's a million inputs that we can take in every minute. And our brain's trying to figure out what's the important ones. So the fact that this ringing in our ear, your brain, as mine has for the last 20 years and will continue always to do so, has turned, it doesn't listen to that. Okay, so but my limbic system, if I told it to fear that noise, or my eyes to fear that little spider running around, or the car horn, or a tiger charging at me, my limbic system will be on guard for those things. So that's how we get into the system, and it's usually we have this period of stress. And David Hackworth, in the book About Face, talked about somebody, and this is about the Vietnam War, his experiences there, how somebody would fill with stress, and then eventually felt like they just couldn't, they were useless basically, until you got them some rest and relaxation, got them off the front line, send them back in the rear, and let the stress kind of percolate down. Well, for us as humans, we have too much stress. The stress becomes chronic, and that leads to anxiety, and the chronic anxiety can lead to other things. Your whole body stands up. You become a fortress. Your autonomic and semi-autonomic system, your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, I believe, don't hold me to that. It's back to the watch piece, the watchmaking I've read about, but I'm not a doctor. But let's just kind of figure out how your body gets to the state. But basically, your body gets to a fortress, and your limbic system is like, dude, I'm ready to go. I've got my gasoline can of adrenaline ready to pour on any sort of fire, whether it's that spider, whether it's a bear, whether it's a car horn, whether it's a little, it's that noise we hear. You name it, I'm ready to go. So basically, through all these mechanisms of stress, you step your body up to this heightened sense of alarm. Okay. And that's kind of a prolonged time piece. And if you notice, again, we talked about tinnitus as a diagnosis. Look at all the emotion in it: frustration, depressed, it annoys me. Those are all emotions, right? We talked about this last time. You don't set a bone that's broken because it annoys you. We just go in, we put a splint on it, whatever the doctor is going to do, suture up the wound. And away you go, and your body heals itself. Your body will heal itself here too. We just have to retrain it. So back to just kind of to wrap this piece in, we had an initiating event, whatever the case may be, whether it's, you name it, fear of eating, fear of spiders, fear of bridges, fear of panic disorder, or anxiety, or the fear of that sound, and we put it into our limbic system. And there it sits, and it'll sit there until we tell the unthinking, unreasoning limbic system, "Hey, God, dude, we don't need it in there anymore. Let's take it out of there. It's not a lion, tiger, bear. That noise can't hurt us." And because your limbic system won't attend to it, the tinnitus will go away. It's not the sound. The sound will be there. You have to look for it because your brain is not attending to it anymore. Once we get all the adrenaline out of our system with regard to responding to that, the tinnitus goes away. All right, we'll talk about that in the how we get there in the next video. Thanks so much.